Alright, this is going to be the first of hopefully many reviews that I want to try and do. A series that I'm planning to call So You Want to Play. Now, the way this works is I'm going to be selecting a game. In this case, we're going to be starting off with Pokemon Shield. I know this is a very late review. This game came out back in November, I believe, but that's fine. Better late than never, I suppose, right? Am I right? So anyways, we're going to be starting a review on this game. Here you can kind of see what my team looked like before some time ago. It's gone a little bit of revision, and that Meowth is only there because I was farming for gold, because Gigantamax Meowth gives so much gold. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. Um, this is going to be a mostly impromptu review, so I'm just going to be doing things off of the top of my head. I'm sure as I do more of these, I'll be changing up the formula, having more of a maybe like a little script written out or something, but for the most part, I'm just going to be kind of playing it by ear. I'm not very good at this, to be honest, so this is going to be my first time really doing a review. Actually, I've done a few reviews before on a different channel way back then with some friends, but this time I'm doing it solo. I'm trying to be more serious about YouTubing and sometimes Twitch streaming, but the Twitch streaming kind of demotivates me sometimes, but whatever. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Pokemon Shield for the meantime. So, I have 347 hours into this game. That's a lot. I have not realized how many hours I put into this game. Realistically, I'm probably at 200 hours. Some of the hours are probably just me leaving the game on by accident while I go do other things. Um, I've been kind of leading into the competitive scene recently. This is what my most recent team looks like: a Shiny Haxorus, a Trick Room Imprison Runerigus, a Gigantamax Assault Vest Kingler, Whimsicott to set up with Tailwind and Charm, my Intimidate Fake Out Incineroar, and my knockoff Drapion. I'm probably going to be replacing Drapion and Incineroar in the future, especially when the first DLC drops sometime next month as of this recording. But we don't know the exact details of the DLC still, so that'll be its own video, I'm sure. I also plan to be doing a lot of streaming and such when that comes out. So anyways, so the first thing I want to talk about the game. I like the way it looks. I know a lot of people complain about graphics. Wise saying that it looks like PS2 graphics, which is fine. It's a Pokemon game. The graphics are not meant to be good. You look at a Mario game, and I feel like some of the Mario games graphics haven't really gone up. Now, to be honest, I haven't played the most recent game, Galaxy, was it? No, not Galaxy. I already forgot what the newest Mario game was, and the graphics were pretty good. But again, this is a Pokemon game we're talking about, and I don't know. Like, we have Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild looks phenomenal. I think it's probably the best Switch game right now, and I have something like 100 hours on that game too. But oh, correct, sorry. Again, this is just impromptu, so I'm just gonna be doing a bunch of random things. Again, I'm not very good at this. This is my first one, so we'll see how it goes. So, I personally like the way the game looks. It's, it's cartoony, which is how it is for Pokemon. Things are not bad. We have some pretty decent animations. Now, yes, I know we have the whole issue with Tail Whip, Low Kick, Beat Up, and like some of these other really lazy animations. But the one thing I want to talk about, you have to remember, we have 400 Pokemon in this game. That's a lot of stuff they have to go through to animate each and every one of Pokemon. Now, yes, we did have Pokemon Stadium, and we did have Let's Go, and Let's Go was kind of the prelude to this, and even Let's Go had some pretty bad animation. But the thing about Let's Go is the walking around animations for the Pokemon were kind of better because, well, not better. There were fewer Pokemon. Here you can spawn a bunch of Pokemon. Like, look at this. Look how many Pokemon are just here in this one area. And Let's Go, I don't think you were able to spawn this many Pokemon in one place at a time. I could be wrong. I didn't get too much into Let's Go, to be honest. Let's Go, I think I stopped at Blaine and I got bored of the game, to be honest. So I didn't enjoy it that much. However, this game, and then I'm sorry, I keep getting sidetracked. Let me start again. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure this is pretty bad. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is I like the way the game looks. Its graphic wise is great. Some of the moves look amazing. Some moves, such as shield bash. I already forgot what the move is called for Zacian. When you have him with his item. Well, it doesn't say it here, unfortunately. But then, even then, you have like Dynamax Cannon and Eternamax, whatever his move is called, and some of those moves look really good. So it's like we have some pretty impressive details in this game. Now, yes, again, some of the other things are pretty bad, like Tail Whip and Beat Up and stuff. But realistically, how often do you use those moves? Like, are you really gonna go into a battle having a full team of Tail Whip? Like, realistically, it's not that great of a move, so you're honestly never really gonna see those moves. You're only gonna see it for maybe the first 2 hours of the game, maybe the first hour of the game. So it's I just don't see what the big deal is. I mean, again, that's just my opinion. Sorry, I hit the mic. So it's like it's nothing too insane. I'm gonna do a Dynamax battle just to kind of pass the time a bit. So anyway, I mean, we'll get into this and I'll talk a little bit more because we have some other cool things I find here. Like, there's different environments, which I like. You know, we have the whole Dynamax thing. Gigantamax Meowth is the weirdest sound in the game, in my opinion. I don't like it. You know, we have this cool background. Ooh, an Unnerve. I kind of need one still. So, I think we have a lot of neat things. I'm going to give, personally, graphics and design-wise, probably like an 8 out of 10. Probably not the best in the world. I mean, it's obviously not the best in the world, but it's pretty high. It's pretty advanced for Pokemon, I think. I know there's some other really stupid little things where it's like when you play with your partner, they just kind of use the normal attack animation, which is kind of meh. But again, we're talking about 400 Pokemon here. That's a lot of Pokemon you have to go through to do that kind of animation. And yes, Pokemon Stadium had something like 400 also, but it's like, you know, they already had some of the information from the old games, so all they had to do was just transfer from the old games to the new games. They didn't have to reprogram everything. Here, they kind of have to reprogram stuff. Next up, I want to talk about music. I think this is some of the best music that the game has had in a long time. I want to give this game probably a 10 out of 10 in music, maybe a 9 out of 10, just because it's not my style for the most part, but, since I'm mostly into rock. Like, really? Wait, how did I get confused? Oh, that's right, it causes confusion. My bad. I completely forgot it causes confusion. So anyways, yeah. So, a lot of the music here is pretty good. I'm really enjoying it. I especially love the gym battle music. That's probably the best music. After them is probably Marine and Pierce. I think they have the second best music. Well, Team Yell also. I know a lot of people don't like Team Yell just because... Wait, what did it do to me? It did growl, I guess. I know a lot of people don't like Team Yell because they're not an evil team. Instead, they're just a support team to help out Marine, which is kind of nice. I actually like the idea of it being kind of simplified. Like, it's not, oh man, we're here to destroy the world. It's like, no, we just want to help support our gym leader sister because she's super shy. We want to help her, like, be out there and be, you know, be excited and stuff. So it's like, you know, it's got this nice little charm. And I know a lot of people hated Hop too, but Hop had an interesting character development because, you know, at first he's like, oh, let's battle, let's battle, let's battle. And it's like, dude, like, calm down. Like, we don't need to battle every 2 seconds, which, yeah, was probably one of the most annoying parts. Did that Meowth just use Sword Stance? I don't think that was possible. So, you know, it was really annoying. But then it's like, what's this guy's name? I can't remember his name now, the psychic guy. or the fairy dude now, I forgot his name. He's like, oh, I'm going to battle you, and it's like, okay, let's battle. And he loses to him, and then Hop starts going, man, I lost to someone that isn't to my rival. I've never lost to anyone else except for my rival. Why did I lose all of a sudden? I have to think of a new team. So he tries and tries and tries to make a new team, but he just can't seem to get it right, which is really interesting because I don't, if I remember correctly, I don't think any other rival has ever done something like that. I don't think where they just like, oh man, I need to try a different team this time, and he actually abandons his other Pokemon. He even got rid of his Wooloo, and yeah, he even got rid of his Wooloo, which his Wooloo is basically his first starter Pokemon. It wasn't even the Grookey or the Sobble or the Scorbunny. His Wooloo was his actual. Really? Gigantamax Meowth has the worst catch rate in this game. I don't think I've caught a single one. So it's interesting. So this for story, I have to get, well, I jumped from music to story all of a sudden. I'm trying to think. I'm sorry, guys. I forgot it makes that sound effect. So you know, it's interesting that Hop actually goes through that realization, and then finally, at some point, I forgot when exactly, he's like, "Hey, you know what? I've been doing something wrong this whole time. I haven't been having fun," which is what Pokemon is about for the most part. I mean, for most of us who aren't really into the competitive scene. I mean, I play the game at first just for pure fun. Then, after I've beaten everything and done everything that's necessary, I go into the competitive scene. And I spend at least maybe 30-40 hours just spending on fun, and then after that I kind of go into the competitive scene. So it's like, you know, Hop is more that casual player where he's like, man, I should have just been having fun this whole time, but instead for some reason I decided I just want to be super serious. And it's like, when you take things that are, you know, super serious and you realize you're not having fun, there's a problem. So Hop is a pretty interesting character. Story wise, Marina is a pretty interesting character. She's a super shy girl that, you know, she didn't know how to deal with a lot of things, and I was like, oh, you know, I'm just here because I'm want to be like my brother, the gym leader. And it's like, okay, that's an interesting story. I mean, it's nothing too bizarre, too crazy. So it's like she just wants to be like her brother. So you know, it you know, that's a nice, it's not a huge detail, but it's like, hey, look, you know, she's trying to make something of herself just like her brother. um Then the other weird thing is we have the big bad was the, what was his name? Marco Cosmo or something like that. He's like the CEO of like the Pokemon League, and it's like, oh, you know, I'm the big boss, and what I say goes. And it's like, okay, and he tells Leon like, hey, we gotta save the world or we're going to die in like 3,000 years. And then Leon's like, okay, I mean, we have 3,000 years. We can kind of relax a little bit. And the whole time the CEO guy is like, no, we gotta do it right now, this instant. And it's like, oh, I mean, I'm pretty sure we can wait. And he's like, no, right now, let's do it right now. And it's like, bro, like, calm down. So it was a nice, another interesting thing that we had. So it was something a little different, I want to say. So Pokemon Sword and Shield made things pretty different, in my opinion. It wasn't, oh man, out of this world, but phenomenal. It was like, you know, they changed up the formula a bit. So story, I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10. Some points it was weak, but some points it made it really different and made it really interesting. So I actually enjoyed the story quite a bit. Some other stories were better, I would say. Like, maybe I want to say, I'm not sure right now what story was better. I want to say like Gen 3 probably have one of the best stories in my opinion. But still, like, you know, it was something a little different. It wasn't like too out of this world, but at the same time I was like, it was a nice change of pace. So it was pretty decent. I enjoyed it. Did I enjoy it to the fullest? Not really. It could have been better on a lot of different parts, but hey, you know, again, it's just a Pokemon game. It's nothing too serious. It's not like a Street Fighter game where it's like, oh man, like, super serious and stuff. Like, that's just me and my, well, I'm Street Fighter's a really bad example, to be honest. I'm bad at this, sorry. Again, this is like my first time trying to do something like this, so... and this is mostly impromptu, so it's pretty bad, I know. I'm just being honest, really. Wow, freeze dry? The only other thing I can think of to talk about would be gameplay-wise. It's a Pokemon game, super simple. You fight other Pokemon, you capture Pokemon, 10 out of 10, same as always. Now, yes, some people argue that Dynamax is a stupid mechanic. I honestly like the mechanic, because here's the deal. It lasts for 3 turns. You have to think of which Pokemon you want to Dynamax. Is it worth Dynamaxing? Now, because here's the deal. We have Pokemon such as, in competitive at least, Rhyperior, Lapras, Charizard had Mega Evolution, so it doesn't really count. Kingler, for me at least. Haxorus is another one I like to Dynamax quite often. And Durant. I'm just gonna name those for now because I know there's a million others, but I'm just gonna name these for now. Rhyperior, Lapras, Kingler, Haxorus, and Durant never had Mega Evolutions. So the thing was, when you had a Mega Evolution, you were basically guaranteed to be used on the team. Now, I know Lapras and Kingler both have Gigantamaxes. Lapras Gigantamax is super worth because it gives you a free Aurora Veil, and I don't think anyone can one-shot a Dynamax Lapras. I'm just gonna say that right now because I'm not too sure. I could be wrong. But then here's the other thing. In my opinion, I like Gigantamax Kingler because he reduces the enemy speed, which is pretty good in my opinion. Especially when I pair it up with Tailwind. It kind of guarantees my team will go first. So, in the case of Pokemon like Rhyperior, Durant, and Haxorus, they really love the Dynamax mechanic because Durant has Hustle, which is probably his best ability because his other one is Swarm, which is kind of meh, give or take, and his other one is I forgot what it's called, but Trunt, which is basically Slack King's ability. Who wants Slack King's ability? Like, seriously. So you give it Hustle, so it does, what is it, 50% more damage, but you have an 80% accuracy, and all Dynamax moves are guaranteed hits. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Durant's gonna love that because for 3 turns, he's not going to miss at all. And then Rhyperior loves it because he can give himself special defense boost, which he lacks in special defense. And he also likes to abuse the new Trick Room because apparently almost everyone's a Trick Roomer right now. So gameplay wise, the Dynamax mechanic is pretty nice. I like it. It's not awful. I think Mega Evolution was a little bit worse due to the whole fact of, hey, you basically have to run these specific Pokemon. If you didn't run them, you're going to lose. And it's like, man, like, what if I don't run those Pokemon? Like, what if I think those Pokemon suck? And not suck, but like, what if I just don't enjoy those Pokemon? Like in Sun and Moon, it was like basically you ran Mega Salamence if you weren't running Mega Rayquaza. And for me personally, I don't like Salamence. So it's like, why would I want to run a Salamence? Now, yes, whenever you're competitive, you have to play the best thing, but it's like, I'm kind of one of those guys that want to try and break the meta a bit. So it's like, why would I want to do that? Like, again, that's just me personally. So I do like the Dynamax mechanics. So I would have to give gameplay wise probably like a 9 out of 10, just because I do like the idea of having, Dynamax work, because it works for every Pokemon. No one is useless when they're Dynamax, unless, they're sleep, they're burned or something, then that's a different story. But I'm saying, like, it makes a lot of Pokemon viable. And I'm going to say, I'm kind of glad about the National Dex cut, just because it makes a lot more Pokemon viable than usual. Rhyperior was barely viable on the other gens, if I remember correctly. Torkoal is he's sometimes good, sometimes bad, and Torkoal's really good right now. Dusclops, he's kind of a meh Pokemon too, but he's here and there, so he's doing really good too. Tangled Feet, ill. So I actually do enjoy the National Cut now, and I know we're getting way more Pokemon in the first DLC, which I am excited for. Excuse me. So I'll be waiting for that to be happening so I can see who's coming back. And, you know, we'll see what happens. Again, I'm pretty happy with the game. I would have to give the game overall, I would give the game a 10 I'm sorry, not 10. I would have to give the game an 8 out of 10 for the most part. I think the game is pretty good. It could be better, obviously, in certain cases, but it's not, you know, I think right now it's the best Pokemon game at the moment. I mean, obviously, at the moment, yeah, it is, because it's the only current gen Pokemon game we have. And I'm sure when they start making more and more on the Switch, we'll be getting bigger improvements. So, you know, we just have to be patient and let the game run its course. And I'm sure we'll find, you know, we'll find more reason to like the game. So I think the wild area is cool. So that's probably it for my Impromptu review. Again, it's not particularly amazing. I'm pretty sure I messed up on a lot of parts. If there's any questions you guys have to ask me about, you know, my thoughts and stuff, you can always ask me down in the comments below if you guys have anything. If I even get any views or anything, you know, comments. So again, this mostly impromptu. I'm sure when I do later things, like actually Bioshock Collection just came out, so I'll probably do one sometime in the future. My next one I think will be Final Fantasy VII Remake on the PS4. That one I'm super excited to do a review on, because that was my highly anticipated game, or most anticipated game for like the past, I don't know, 7 years that they showed that trailer back at E3 like in 2014 or something. So that'll probably be my next review, and then I'll see what other games I have here that I might want to do reviews on. Maybe I'll do a review on that Yu-Gi-Oh game that I did like 1 or 2 videos about and streamed a few times, but I don't know, that Yu-Gi-Oh game is just so garbage when compared to Duel Links. So anyways, yes, this is my Impromptu review. Not amazing, not too great, probably mediocre at best, maybe awful, I don't know. Like I said, I'll probably do a script on this. Maybe I'll start having a script on this later, but for now, this is my review. It's 23 minutes long for some reason, and I'm gonna stop right there before I continue. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you guys have any questions, and I'll be sure to answer them. Catch you guys next time.